What's up, you guys? It's Matt here. So we're gonna talk about AMC, and looking in the camera, I look like a freaking high school football coach. We're gonna talk about AMC today. We currently are down quite a bit. We still have maybe 30 minutes, a little bit over 30 minutes left in the day, but we're down about 8% right now. The volume is around 58 million, so we don't really have a lot of buy volume. We'll go into all the detail why I believe this has decreased, and also what's going to happen for the future of this during this week, and also obviously the squeeze in general. So before we get started in this, guys, make sure you hit that like button. If you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well. And if you want to check out any of my other content on YouTube, go to my channel, check out the associated channels, and you'll see those listed there. But we had a good stream this morning because it was slightly negative. We saw AMC that was decreasing, GME that was decreasing. A lot of crypto was making some moves here and there. Some was going down, some were going down, some were actually making a move up. But we're here to talk about AMC. AMC kind of got worse throughout the day because you could see here on this chart, it's starting to pull all the way back, and hopefully it doesn't pull back to the 200 EMA. That's not what we want. It doesn't look like it had any touch points for a while. We've been pretty much, in bullish territory, flying above this 200 EMA and holding above this 200 EMA, well above it. But recently, which is today, we've seen a bit of a decrease. We saw some consolidation throughout the after hours market and pre-market, and then you're looking into more of a negative day today, one of the biggest negative days that we've seen in quite some time. So we're looking at the overall numbers. Let's break it down and look at it at a closer view. You can see here that it was pretty much negative right from the start. Didn't really have any like real positive movement besides this mark here, which was more of just a breakout to the 200 EMA there, and then finding a way to continue to decrease and stair step on the way down, creating lower lows and lower highs, which is not something you ever really want to see. No sign of real recovery to where we have a lot of buying strength or we have a lot of covering that's going on. But we have certain points that we would like to point out, which are these points, right? You have the little bit of green movement here, a little bit of green movement here, a little bit of green movement here. We understand that all of this negative pressure doesn't really line up to what the stock is actually doing. And the way that we look at this is go, okay, what can explain all of this negative pressure? Well, you probably have maybe a little bit of selling. People like sort of, you have a couple of people that take some profits, right? Probably people that are not apes. But then you also have some shorting that's going on. They're not going to not short, right? Yesterday was a positive day, but it doesn't mean that they weren't shorting on a positive day. It just means that the buying pressure, pretty much exceeded the shorting and selling pressure. So we want to highlight these portions here. We want to make sure we look at those. And if we have some sort of drawing, let's see if I can draw a box real quick. I don't even know how to do that. I forgot how to do all this stuff. There we go. We'll draw some, man. Times I just can't draw. Let's move this here. So we'll draw a box around this. I just want to move it and then draw another box around this area. All of the positive areas. That's what we want to focus on. What could those positive areas be? Do you think that's a lot of buying pressure that's going in, or do you think that's something else? Well, like I said, we had a high of $51.55. We had a low of $47.19, which is still kind of on the way down and still can break past that low point from what we're seeing. You had an open price of about $51, and the volume is looking like it's about 60 million. Now, the reason why we want to focus on these areas, because if we start to go into here and we look at the Ortex data, we're going to see that the return shares, they had 6.6 million return shares. Well, that's a form of covering some shorts. Are they covering all their shorts? That's what people are asking. No, they're not covering all their shorts. They're covering maybe the shorts that they have to and some other forms of returning shares as well, but they're also borrowing some shares at 2.9. Now, this is not to where they're borrowing more than they're returning more than they're borrowing. But does borrowing mean that they're only shorting 2.9 million shares? No, that's not what that means. that generally means that they're borrowing too short or do other things with it, not just short. But you see a negative change of 3.72 million shares there, which is negative 3.2 or 3.3% in short interest change. We're still at 19%. We still have about 100 million shorted shares out there. The shares on loan are still at 111 million or above 100 and 10 million. We also have utilization over 90. But the thing I want you to focus on is, right, this explains kind of that positive movement because we didn't see a lot of buying pressure that was going in there. So without the buying pressure, you need some sort of positivity, which is the shorting pressure, or sorry, the covering of those shorts, which is about 6 million. You probably had somewhat, maybe looking at like 10 million, 15 million of buying pressure versus, while also including the covering of those shorts. But then you look at something like yesterday, we were up. It was a positive day, and they still shorted 55% of the actual, volume that was out there. So total volume, FINRA volume was 44 million shares. They shorted 24.5 million shares. So this means that they're still shorting. It doesn't mean that they only shorted what they borrowed. They're shorting extra. So they borrow it right now and they short it in the future. They borrow every single day and they short it in the future. That's just what happens, right? We're looking at all horrible numbers when it comes to the short volume ratio, 55, 48, 57%, 47%, right? They're starting to get back to where they're shorting it at a massive rate compared to the volume that's out there. We just don't have enough people that are buying it. We have a lot of people that are holding it, and that comes into play when they do cover the shorts. But then they quickly realize that, okay, well, we can't cover too much. Let's go ahead and cover and reshort, make it look like we're covering. But then in reality, if they look at Ortex, they're going to say, oh, well, you know what? They're covering all. Let's go ahead and sell the position. That's not the case. They want us to think that way, and we're not going to think that way. We are not dumb. We're not stupid. We're not going to take the bait at all. I'm still in the position with 900 shares. It came back down to $47.30. It's down more right now, and it's actually getting closer and closer to that low there, as you see that. So I don't think it was the worst day possible, right? They want to make it look like it's a bad day and that they're actually doing something that would help us, but it's not helping us at the same time, if that makes sense. They're looking to paint the perfect picture here. In every single scenario, they want to paint this perfect picture, but they can't do it. They really can't do it. We understand what this is. We understand that there's not a lot of FOMO buying that's going on right now. And then once you start to break certain levels, that you'll get to that FOMO buying. So I don't want anybody to sit here and panic. I'm not panicking. I know a bunch of people that are not panicking. It's just not the time to do that. There's a bunch of positivity within this position, and I see it. I'm going to continue to remain in this position, to remain where I feel we're going to see this larger increase. So that's just my opinion. Remember, this is not financial advice. It's merely just my opinion. Whatever you want to do, you can go ahead and do. It's your money. Whatever you choose to do with that, feel free. But that's where I stand. That's where my head is. We're not dumb. We're not stupid. We are here to stay, and we're here to support the business, gain money, do everything possible in order to, one, make our lives better as individuals rather than giving money to big businesses and people and billionaires and all that stuff. They have enough money, right? And we're hoping that they can learn a lesson from this and not try and short companies out of business or in basically being non-existent. So that's my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think about it. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.